Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Piccolo Power Awakening LR at 55% in the Hidden Potential system. Now I've been fortunate enough to be able to buy a copy of Piccolo with the red coins, so kind of wanted to take a look at him at 55% comparative to when we originally took a look at him using friend leads at 100%. So it's just kind of a way for me to get a cool look at Piccolo and just kind of enjoy using him basically. I think obviously he's still very good, which I don't think is surprising to anyone, and he's still considered one of the top units in the game. Now Piccolo leads the Superheroes or Battle of the Wits category with Ki +3, HP attack and defense of 170%, with an additional HP attack and defense of 30% for characters who also belong to the Bond Master or the Disciples category and the Movie Heroes category. He, on his super attack on his 12 key, greatly raises defense and raises attack for 1 turn, causes colossal damage with a medium chance of stunning. And on his 18 key, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack and defense. He will activate the entrance animation once only, has attack and defense of 100% and guards all attacks for 3 turns from start of turn when there's another Bond of Master and Disciple category ally on the team at the start of the character's attacking turn. He has attack and defense of 150% plus an additional Ki +1 per key sphere obtained, whilst also reducing damage received by 20%. He also has an additional attack and defense of 30% with each attack received up to 150% max, and gives all allies Ki +2 within the same turn after receiving an attack. He also, if your HP is 30% or less at the start of the character's attacking turn after he's received 7 or more attacks during the course of battle, well, he recovers health once and gives himself an additional 30% damage reduction going forward. He has an active skill which will allow him to turn into giant form, which can be activated when all allies attacking in the same turn are superheroes category characters, starting from the 3rd turn of battle, or when facing only one enemy starting from the 6th turn of battle. He has Brainiac, Solid Support, Namekian's Power Bestowed by God, Transform, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power as his links, and he's on the giant form Namekian's Full Power, Transformation Boost, Movie Heroes, Worthy Rivals, Bond of Master and Disciple, Revenge, Rapid Growth, Battle of Wits, Connected Hope, Powerful Comeback, Gifted Warriors, Battle of Fate, Fused Fighters, Earthbred Fighters, Superheroes, and Power of Wishes categories. And his giant form is pretty straightforward. Greatly raises attack on his 12 key, whilst also massively raising attack on his 18 key, and he receives an additional 2 key per key sphere obtained, whilst launching an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack. All in all, Piccolo's pretty nutty, and really honestly quite good, like as a unit. I think he's really honestly quite excellent as a unit, and I think he could, well, he's honestly a lot of fun, and he's obviously one of the top units in the game. His team's recently got some pretty big buffs as well, with the physical Piccolo getting his Easy A, which is great. You can see here he starts with a really high defense, 288k, which is fantastic. Obviously some support on the rotation, but we have plenty room to grow. Now the debate on how to build this guy is interesting, because obviously, there's definitely merit to him having crit. Okay, he doesn't have attacks effective against all types. He doesn't have built-in crit, and you really want him to do some good work with those attack stats, but at the same time he greatly raises defense permanently on his 12 key, so additionals would enable him to ramp up his defense quickly, would also enable him to fire off multiple supers in his giant form Piccolo. So there's a lot that can happen with him. I think for me, I would go majority crit build and then maybe push out into going into an additional build, at least at some point. But I think, off just the basis of things, personally I think crit is the best. I think if you want to play it safe and just make him a defensive juggernaut, you go full additional. I think that generally ends up getting you in a pretty good place. Obviously Piccolo only has guard for the first 3 turns, but he can have, well, he has 20% damage reduction, but he can have 50% damage reduction in total, which is pretty good when you look at it. Obviously, you know, a big thing about him is him being able to build up into that defense. It's also him just kind of headlining the rotations. He's probably one of the better first slot tanks in the game, and just one of the tankier units in the game. And he's not really restricted. Generally speaking, he's, you know, quite flexible as a unit. You can put him in the second slot or the third slot, or, you know, wherever you really kind of want to slot him in. You can just shift them around wherever needed, and I think that's a pretty good sign. Like, I think that's a pretty good kind of area to be in, and I think overall it's just good stuff. You know, I think it's just really good, solid kind of functionality. His active skills also super useful. It's a great way to, you know, kind of control a lot of things. Like his active skill, yeah, super great way to just get yourself in control with the fights, just being able to do damage, being able to, you know, keep yourself in check. I think it's all really good stuff. Obviously, you know, you can have a little bit of a harder time maybe getting it to activate, especially if you don't have super heroes category units. Also, his 30% damage reduction is a lot harder to trigger than one might think. Like, it's a little bit harder than one might think. Like, to cut a long story short, it can take like a little bit of time basically to get it, because you not only need to trigger the health requirement, you actually need to like have a certain number of attacks hit you as well. So it's not like you can just tank a super attack in the first turn where Piccolo's taken no attacks and then you'll refill up your health. Although obviously with Piccolo being so strong defensively, you don't mind just using him to soak up attacks, so that's usually not the big problem. It's the health threshold. 30% is quite low. It's like quite a small margin to fit into, so it can be a little bit difficult to try and organize yourself to fall in this threshold to activate the, you know, like actual damage reduction and such nature of these things. But overall, I would say I mean, we're not seeing a significant drop off at 55%. I would say he's one of the better units at 55%. You know, obviously we haven't even had him fully build up his defense and attack or anything like that. We're looking at 6 million attack stats in these situations. His team is pretty good. I think physical Piccolo helps him out a lot. Like, I think physical Piccolo, I don't want to say pushes him into a new bracket, because I think he was already one of the top units in the game. But I think physical Piccolo does help when it comes to him having a super, like physical Piccolo brings a lot of melee ability to the team. Like, he just is able to flex position, he's able to second slot, third slot, etc. So he's just solid in that regards, and I think that does, yeah, that does help you. That does help a lot when you're talking about like a unit's performance. To have some strong units on your team always helps, and with physical Piccolo you now have a really good selection of units. You've got this Piccolo, you've got the strength cooler movie Piccolo, you've got physical Piccolo. You can kind of run off and add some superhero units. You've got Pan, you've got Gohan, so you've got plenty to kind of roll with. So yeah, honestly, it's really not that big a deal. I think Piccolo's team super solid. I think Piccolo himself obviously super solid. Link wise, his links are okay, bordering on bad. I think that's the only way they could kind of balance him out, was just by giving him an exceptionally average link set. It's not that he's terrible, he's got some really good stuff here. Brainiacs is decent, Solid Support is okay. Namekians is obviously strong in its own right. You've got like stuff that works. It's just that it doesn't necessarily work easily. It doesn't work consistently. It's not like super simple to operate or run. And it can give people, yeah, it can give you some problems. So yeah, that is one of those things. It's just how it is. It's how they sometimes balance out units. Piccolo's a really strong unit, so they do seemingly need to balance them out to some extent, and yeah, obviously this is just one of those ways. Like, it's just one of those ways where they can balance them out and can kind of obviously control them and push them to being a balanced-ish unit. But he's just really strong in general, and with the advent of some of the new really strong Piccolos like Strength Cooler Movie Piccolo and Physical Piccolo's Easy Aim, he's just looking really solid. A 200% Namekian lead, and with Demon King Piccolo around, things are really starting to look like really solid. He actually links surprisingly well with Vegito units as well, but the TEQ Vegito does transform, which kind of ruins their link pairing. But that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.